Honorable Kithure Kindiki, and all protocols observed. First of all, Your Excellency, I would like to say that I was not properly prepared for this occasion. This is because I don't know why I was not properly invited to the occasion, but I don't want to complain. I think it is because my brother is not there. If he was there, I'm very sure he would have been the first to be invited to this occasion, because he held the human rights very dearly to his heart, and he fought for it. He fought for it. The most half of his life was dedicated to fighting for human rights and liberation of our country. And I am from a family of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the first Vice President of Kenya, who also fought for the independence of this country and kept on, though he became Vice President, but only for a very short stint. He enjoyed that, but he then went into the opposition. I came from abroad and found him already deeply in the opposition. And from that time, that was in the early 70s, from 1970. I lived the life of demonstration. Junet says he started in 2002. We started from 1970. So the struggle has been long. It has taken very many years for Kenyans to change constitution, and now we have a new constitution, which is a very, very progressive constitution. It is the most progressive constitution, I think, in the Eastern and Western Africa. And this constitution gives provision, specific provision for human rights. And I'm very, very happy that the President, His Excellency, the President and my brother were working very closely on the issues of human rights. When we joined the President in this broad-based arrangement, one of the issues which was of concern to my brother was the issue of human rights. In our 10-point agenda, human rights takes precedence over all the other issues which we put forward. And I'm very happy, Your Excellency, that today at least this matter is being, at least we have started to conclude this very, very dear issue of human rights. And by calling it compensation, but it is not compensation. You cannot compensate a human life. Human life cannot be compensated, but what we are compensating, what we are doing is saying sorry to the families who lost their loved ones by giving them a token so that they can feel recognized that at least they contributed to the progress we are enjoying today. And therefore, Your Excellency, the process which is being concluded today, I'm very sure you are fully aware that this was initiated by you and my late brother, and I was there. When this process was initiated, it was Professor Mutua to carry it out. You know, us politicians, sometimes we like shortcuts, but the court told us, no, it is not Professor Mutua to implement it. You go slow, it is the Human Rights Commission which should implement it, and the guidance of the court was was taken, and the courts and the human rights are doing a good job. They have started to do what is actually symbolic in this process, and we appreciate them very much. I did not listen to their report fully, so I cannot comment on what they said, but Your Excellency, I appreciate the process itself, and I hope very soon they will start to touch the soul of those who are to be compensated, those who are to be not compensated, those who are to be recognized and given some token. And I'm sure this is not the end, this is the beginning. And we hope that our country will never, going forward, will not have human rights violations at all. But let us establish this law, which we say is absent. Personally, I thought something had been done in Parliament to establish this law or to operationalize the Human Rights Act, but I mean provision in the Constitution. But I don't know, we have been with you for a long time in this Bunge. But somewhere in the corner of my thoughts, I thought that such a law had been created, and I remember that you had to give some notice to police 5 days before. Just notice, not apply for permit. You give them notice and they provide you with security, and you state exactly from where you want to demonstrate up to where, from what time to what time, so that security can be provided for you to do demonstrations. I thought there was something like that, but if it is not there, then let us expeditiously establish one so that we can have a law which guides demonstrations so that Kenyans can demonstrate peacefully without being disturbed and being protected by their own police, because they are the ones who pay the police. Let Kenyans pay the police who protect them, not the police who kill them. Because if you use a bullet, that bullet is bought by the mwananchi you are killing. So we should not allow that situation where our own bullets are used to fight, to kill our people. And let Kenyans know that when you go to demonstrate peacefully, you don't carry a machete, you don't carry a stone, and you don't carry any weapon at all. You just go to demonstrate. And if you see anybody carrying a knife or carrying a stone, you know that that is a goon. And those goons are not few. There are very many. Almost every politician is nowadays recruiting a goon to go and disrupt functions. I think that's the nature of goonism, where you have goons who are for hire by everybody. They are hired by both sides. This one hires them today, tomorrow you go and hire them and you pay them and they come, and that's nature of goonism. We as leaders should take care. We must make sure that that culture is stopped completely from our country. This culture of goonism must go. Let us let our wananchi who are aggrieved go to the streets, demonstrate, and follow the law, but not carry any weapons. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, sir, permit me now to invite His Excellency the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, to come and make his remarks, and later on invite you to address the nation.
Your Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, all protocols observed. Today is one of my proudest moments since I left law school nearly 30 years ago. Your Excellency, we are gathered here at your official residence as head of state to reflect on the journey we have traveled with one another as a country, as a nation. And I think, Mr. President, because my speech will not be more than 3 minutes, allow me to just make a small contribution of what I make of this gathering and the subject matter. I have listened to my sister, the chair of the National Commission on Human Rights, and other speakers who have spoken before me. And I think the National Commission on Human Rights has helped us clarify why we are here and why we are not here. The reason we are here and the reason which is not what brings us here. Your Excellency, justice involves so many things, including retribution, where we punish people who do certain things by locking them up, and in many jurisdictions, some are even killed, depending on the crimes they have committed. And that is justice. It is retributive justice. It is retribution. But there is also another facet of justice, which is restorative, where you restore relationships between the offender and the victim of offenses. It is my humble submission, Your Excellency, we are gathered here this morning to advance the agenda of our country more in the area of restorative justice and repairing relationships among ourselves. That's why we are here. Nothing prevents the criminal law justice system to continue with what it has been doing. All what you are saying is that there is another facet of justice that has stalled and has never been operationalized. Restorative justice, and it is more powerful sometimes and has greater effects and a bigger return on investment than retribution. Your Excellency, therefore, today we are not talking compensation. We are talking reparation, because we cannot compensate death. I mean, it's unimaginable. But we are also looking at ourselves and saying, we have hurt one another. Law enforcement agencies, ourselves as citizens, across board. But we are also saying we have realized there are gaps in our legal system which we must fill, because Article 37 is very wide. The right to assemble, the right to demonstrate, the right to picket, the right to petition authorities. We are just concentrating on the demonstration part. There is the right to assemble without demonstrating. But there is also the right to picket and the right to petition. So this is the problematic part. The most problematic part on this right on Article 37 has been the demonstration part, and has been already articulated by the Chief Justice, my Lady Justice Comey. Even in that 1 out of 4 the demonstration part of that right, because the right is in 4 parts, we have had numerous cases of exemplary and successful demonstrations, peaceful and constitutional, by various people, professionals, trade unions, and all manner of people advancing certain causes. The challenge in that demonstration right has been political demonstration. That is where the problem is. So let us not generalize that provision or generalize even the whole activity of demonstration. But we're also saying, Your Excellency, we must settle accounts. We must reconcile with one another. We must repair. And that's why some form of reparations are token here, are sorry here. And this is a very complex space we have ventured into, the space of transitional justice. Very complex. And many countries do not want to address this issue. Many democracies today who have been independent for over 200 years have still pending issues around restorative justice. So we have started a journey. I want to agree with those who have advanced that position. It's going to take centuries, but there is always a starting point. And I'm very proud, Your Excellency, to be your deputy at a time when you are the president of Kenya, who has faced this issue head on. Your Excellency, 2 last quick things. One is to say that that legal thing, that legal discussion must balance crime and punishment, even as we talk about reparation. I say so because I know Speaker Kingi talked about the principle of nulla criminal sine lege, which is there is no crime without law. But likewise, there is nulla poena sine lege, that there is no punishment without law. And the two must be proportionate. The crime, the gravity, and the gravity of punishment must be balanced if we have to resolve and get the deterrence that we require. Finally, Your Excellency, the President, I look forward to a day where in this country, a political leader of whatever stature, character, and opinion will organize what in their view is a legitimate demonstration, make sure that they control their supporters and hold both their supporters and the leaders hold each other accountable for the process, and then be assisted by the police to carry out the demonstrations and say what they don't like and go home in the evening. That is the dream of this country. The millions of Kenyans who have nothing to do with politics. In fact, the Chief Justice has I know she has understated our numbers. We are not 1,000. We are 1,800 or thereabout. But the consequence is the same. 2,000 people cannot frustrate 55 million Kenyans who do not earn their living from politics like us. And we must be called to order, and we must make sure that we don't make this country dangerous for the 55 million Kenyans that do not earn a living from politics. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, colleagues, allow me to request that we stand as we welcome the head of
distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.